60 years ago, a small halfway house for men opened its doors in Bangor with one powerful belief: that people struggling with addiction deserve respect, understanding, and a real chance to get better and rebuild their lives. It started simply: a house, a vision, and the courage to believe in recovery before it was widely understood.
Hello, my name is Bill Shook. I've been on the board of directors of the Wellspring since its beginning. I consider that a privilege. I was director of health in Bangor for a number of years, and in the late 60s, a gentleman named Dick Whittemore, who was director of alcoholism services for the state, came to me, and he had a concept to establish a residential facility for recovering alcoholics, commonly referred to as a halfway house. And he wondered if we could assist him in obtaining funds to do this, which I thought at the time was quite a tall order. But we went at it. He and I identified the federal funds, helping to pay for the physical plant itself and also for operational funds to get the thing on the road. Long story short, we were able to obtain a house at 98 Cumberland Street, where I am today, and identified this as the first halfway house for male clients in the city of Bangor and for the area. It was dedicated, although many may not know this, as Whittemore House. So it's just referred to as men's halfway house now. Alcoholism was a widespread, heavier drugs, heroin, cocaine, amphetamines, sort of took a back seat at the time because they were not as heavily introduced into Maine as they certainly are today.
Linwood Oakes, known to many as Oaksy, was the first manager of the Men's Halfway House, helping shape its early foundation at a time when recovery services were still finding their footing. His leadership during these formative years set a tone of accountability, compassion, and belief in people when it mattered most.
Wellspring has a tremendous legacy in being the oldest treatment program in the state. And the fact that the first resident in this house crossed the threshold of the door on Halloween Day in 1968.
I'm Ken Schmidt. I was the executive director of the Bangor Halfway House from 1975 to 79. It's hello first to old friends and colleagues in the field at Halfway House in Wellspring. It was a mere 50 years ago that I started at the Halfway House in September as executive director, and I was a real pup and wet behind the ears back then when the Halfway House was only 10 years old. After I graduated from college, I went to work in a big halfway house south of Boston as a counselor trainee, and I wanted to help people. I saw an ad in the Bangor Daily News for an executive director of the Halfway House, and I thought, oh my, I'm certainly qualified for that. And I remember being interviewed by Bill Shook and Sally Tarbell and Hilda Sewell and Lambros Karras and others. And although, as you know, Bill usually has impeccable judgment, somehow or other I got the job. I remember Mrs. McGillicuddy, who was the cook for quite a while, and she was an incredible character. Fit right in right then with the rest of us. And of course on the board was Bill as chairman. And Bill was even then a wise mentor. And it wasn't just a pipe smoke, folks. He was the real deal. He was a real gentleman and very kind and patient, very soft-spoken and thoughtful man, and consummate professional. The Halfway House is incredibly lucky in Wellspring to have had you in its leadership from the very beginning through even today. And I remember many of those clients like it was yesterday. Wonderful, wonderful people who were struggling to get back their lives. And many were successful, which was wonderful. And too many of them were not, and sadly fell off the wagon.
The Bangor Halfway House had the capacity for 13, with hopes to expand to 22 men once renovations were completed. In the first 6 months of its opening, 16 men had been admitted to the program. 8 of these men were able to secure employment in the community and were maintaining their sobriety.
The original vision of the program was to make alcoholism, make persons affected by alcoholism, an opportunity to recover in a secure environment and to transition into the community from there.
What wasn't yet understood was the complexity of addiction. Over time, it became clear that alcohol was often only part of the struggle.
One of the things that the Halfway House had to deal with in our early days was the transition from treatment of rehabilitation of alcoholics to rehabilitation of persons on other drugs. The age range of the alcoholic back when Halfway House started was among an older population, older. Not as old as me, but 40s, 50s, middle age, all in middle age. Today, the average addict is much younger, addicted to some type of form of drugs.
For some men, their time at the men's house wasn't appreciated at first. Structure felt restrictive, rules felt unnecessary, interpersonal relationships were difficult, and accountability was often met with resistance.
The question is asked, what do you think the clients valued most while being in the program? Well, at first, they may not have valued all that much. But then they began to value the fact that they had so much support while they were here. And by the time they were actually graduating, they valued everything about it. The counselors, the staff, their peers, everything about it.
I don't know about you, but I've never been given a manual on how to live life on life's terms, and I'm sure a lot of people haven't either. And the houses definitely provide that type of structure, structure with purpose, in which we can learn to live, to be in recovery, and have purposeful and meaningful lives. I think the house also does add to creating that connection and community and peer support.
When everyone comes into the program, they're given an empty jar. And during the rock ceremony, if you're in phase 1, people in the room come and put white rocks into your jar. It's a welcoming to the program. Right now, it's a blank slate. Your recovery is just beginning, and everything is going to be built upon the foundation that you receive in the first 2 phases of this program. But in phase 1, it's really a blank slate, and that's represented by the white rocks. As you move into phase 2, that's when you move into probably the longest phase of treatment at the program. It's represented by the color green because it's when you do a lot of growing. It's where you're learning about the internal mechanisms of your recovery, of how to obtain and sustain your recovery. And then as you move into phase 3, you're preparing to leave the program. And there's a lot of friction, a lot of push and pull when it comes to that. And that's why it's represented by the color red. There's a lot of energy associated with phase 3 as people prepare to leave. And then at graduation, people come, family comes, friends come. And they all have an opportunity to place blue rocks into your gym. And the blue rocks represent the sky, because we know that in recovery, the sky is the limit.
Something that I remember from my experience here was, I remember distinctly, I was washing my dish in the kitchen. Bruce Campbell had come up to me and he could tell something was wrong. He had asked me what was going on, and I was upset at one of my peers about something that had happened, or generally just the fact that, like, at the beginning of my treatment here, no one liked me. Like, I could tell that my peers weren't accepting me. They didn't like me. I could tell that I was burdensome to staff because of unwanted behaviors and my poor attitude. He gave me this assignment, and I didn't know it at the time, but it was basically the fourth step from AA, where you have to make a list of the people you're resentful towards, why you're resentful, and then what underlying emotion is that coming from? Like, what are you afraid of? And also, what's your part in it? And I remember after doing that assignment, I gained this high level of insight that I was the problem. Through that interaction, the light kind of turned on, that I was the person responsible for all of my current circumstances, and that, I was once again wasting a great opportunity that was given to me. I feel like that was kind of the first step towards me moving in the right direction.
In my last year, was involved with the development of the Bangor Halfway House for Women. I worked on writing the grants, putting the grant together to the feds, aided, I know, by Bill and Oaksey and so many other people who knew a lot more about these things than I did.
Mary Jane Bush was hired by Wellspring in 1980 to organize and open a women's halfway house, the first in the state, which officially opened in 1981 for women recovering from alcohol and drug addictions. By its 15th anniversary, the Women's Halfway House had served over 1,000 women from all across the state.
My name is Sheila Ramsdale. I am a recovering addict and a previous client of Wellspring Women's House. I graduated from Wellspring in 2016. I am still currently a client and see the same therapist I did back then. When I came to Wellspring, I was a mess. I had never been to a detox before. I've never been to a rehab before. I didn't know what it was. I thought, rehab was somewhere someone went for 30 days and came back and continued doing the same behavior. I never knew anything different. In 2016, my addiction had been at an all-time high. I was kidnapped from Portland in 2014 into 2015. I was human trafficked for 14 months. That was one of the darkest moments of my life. I didn't know that my life was going to take such a drastic turn. I was arrested and extradited to Maine for a warrant that I had, and while I was there, I applied for Wellspring Women's House. When I got the notice that I was able to go, I was so excited. I told myself, I put everything I had into using drugs. It's time to put everything I have into this and give it a try, because I did not want to go back to where I came from. And I went to Wellspring and 5-point restraints from Cumberland County Jail on a bed-to-bed. It can be hard living with a bunch of women who are, newly sober and trying to figure themselves out while you are. But at that time, I think it was exactly what I needed. I needed the friendships and the people that cared about me more than I even cared about myself at that point. I received so much support. I needed to go to Massachusetts to fight against my human trafficker, and Wellspring helped me gain that confidence to go there and stand up to him. While I was at Wellspring, I took a bus to Massachusetts and stayed the night at a hotel and got up and went to court the next day and fought against my human trafficker. And I was the only woman that went. You know, if it wasn't for me going and sharing my story, he wouldn't have got put away. So the women at Wellspring gave me the support and encouragement that I needed to go there. And I stood up against my human trafficker and put him away, took my life back. And that was the turning point in my recovery. I went back to Wellspring and remember writing a personal bill of rights. And that's when I realized that I had a right to say no. I had a right to be talked to the way I wanted to, or not touched or be touched. And it was one of the most empowering experiences that has stuck with me to this day. There are so many more. I appreciate everything that all of you at Wellspring have done for me.
Wellspring was under the leadership of Mary Jane Bush, was one of the first residential programs to look at dual diagnosis or co-occurring disorders as part of their mission. And so she integrated that. We were one of the first residential programs to put a psychiatrist in, and also recognized medications for people with mental illness was important.
Through the years, Wellspring remained a constant presence in the community, but what began as a focus on alcohol soon revealed more complex struggles, including other substance use, mental health challenges, and trauma. Even when the broader reality wasn't fully understood, Wellspring continued to adapt, expanding services to meet people where they were and address the full scope of recovery needs. 1982 to 1988. The men's and women's halfway houses delivered Project DARE, outpatient counseling to inmates in Maine's correctional system. 1985. Wellspring was established through the collaborative efforts of Executive Director Mary Jane Bush and the Bangor Halfway House Board.
But I want to share with you today the way Wellspring, as I saw it, was really ahead of its time. And I say that because of the leadership that was here. Mary Jane Bush came to Wellspring to be the program director to the Woman's House when it was still Bangor Halfway House. Wellspring was incorporated, and she eventually became the first executive director. But it was Mary Jane's guidance of understanding the importance that state policy needed to change. We needed to change the way we were doing things, and most important, we needed to change the way we looked at clients who were coming through our doors.
1987. Wellspring expanded outpatient services in the Greater Bangor Brewer area.
I'm Dee Clark. I am a therapist at Wellspring Outpatient. I see people with substance use disorders and mental health disorders. Working at Wellspring is kind of like the passion of my life. And the reason that I'm here, and I've worked other places in the area, and Wellspring really offers me a unique opportunity as a therapist to really work with the people that are in my heart, and that is people who suffer from mental health and substance use disorder.
1988. Wellspring received a contract for Project Rebound, providing 6 to 9 months of residential services to adolescents until 1995, when the program closed due to Medicaid reimbursement challenges.
88 to 89, I worked at Wellspring's Project Rebound, which was a treatment facility for adolescents. My role there was I was the night counselor for a period of time, and then later on became a day counselor. As the night counselor, I often found that bedtime, kids would go to bed, and about an hour and a half later, someone would wake up and come out and really need to talk about some feelings that they were having. And mostly, of course, with anyone, when the quiet time came at night is when their own thoughts would come rushing back in, and they would really want to process that. So I can remember many nights listening to what they had to say, because they had never had an opportunity to talk about what they were experiencing as far as trauma, or even to talk about what they hope to have in the future. I think one of the things that Project Rebound gave to these youth is an opportunity to think about that they could have a future, and that their future could be different than what their past was. Many of them would talk about when they first came in, they would be very maybe angry or very sad. And by the time they were getting towards graduation from the project, they'd be talking about something good that was going to happen, something that they had plans for, something they had heard about that they wanted to do. I think for the majority of them, it was certainly a positive experience.
1990, Wellspring and Community Health and Counseling Services launched the Dual Disorder Project, delivering outpatient psychoeducational services for individuals with co-occurring substance use mental health disorders for 9 years. Priscilla Williams, Executive Director, 1995 to 2001. She began as a volunteer with no formal training, but Priscilla brought passion, compassion, and a strong desire to learn. She went on to become Executive Director of the Eastern Regional Council on Alcohol and Substance Abuse, and later spent many meaningful years leading Wellspring. Her work with Wellspring put her on the board of the Maine Association of Substance Abuse Providers, where policymakers came to know her sharp mind, quick wit, and fierce advocacy for kids, the people in recovery she never stopped fighting for.
When we got hit with the opiate crisis, Priscilla Williams at first was the executive director, and we realized our clients were dying. We lost in the Women's House alone 5 clients in a year due to overdose deaths. And we knew that traditionally the way we were handling people, particularly those with an opiate use disorder, wasn't working. So Priscilla Williams contacted Acadia Hospital and said, teach us. And we learned about medication-assisted treatment, again, one of the first programs in the state to integrate into our programs medication-assisted treatment in order to help people in recovery.
2000, Wellspring Outpatient Services joined the Juvenile Justice Network, providing individual treatment to adolescents involved in juvenile drug courts. 2001, Wellspring Outpatient Services was selected to participate in the Penobscot County Adult Drug Court, certifying counselors for this specialized program, and was also awarded a state contract to provide individual and group substance use counseling at the prison. 2002 to 2005, Wellspring partnered with the town of Bucksport to provide local outpatient substance use services. 2003, the Bangor Halfway House purchased 2 buildings to be used as transitional housing for people completing Wellspring treatment programs and continues to this day. 2008, through a 3-year MEHAF grant, Wellspring partnered with the Center for Family Medicine to provide on-site screening, referrals, Suboxone counseling, and staff consultation. Also in 2008, Wellspring became licensed for outpatient mental health counseling and assessments, with services expanding to the men's and women's halfway houses in 2012 and continuing today. 2012, as a member of the Family Treatment Drug Court team, Wellspring began providing substance use evaluations, counseling, and specialized groups for program participants, a role it continues today. October 2017, Wellspring opened the Infinity House, a co-occurring residential program for pregnant and parenting women with children under 5, providing long-term substance use treatment for mothers and families.
My name is Alicia Goss, and I'm the program manager of the Wellspring Infinity House, which is the women and children's program at Wellspring Residential. It is an honor and a privilege to be allowed to do the work that I do every day. I've been with the Infinity House for 5+ years, and one of the most beautiful parts of the work that I do with clients is being able to see the light come back to their eyes when they are reunified with their children and they are able to provide safe and compassionate care to their children and reach the other goals that they've set for themselves, such as getting housing, getting employment, getting a car. I cannot tell you the impact that working at the Infinity House has had on my life and the lives of so many clients that we've worked with over the years that I've been there. Many clients that were there back when I first started 5+ years ago still stay in contact with the program, bring their children back. In many ways, we get to watch these children grow up in safe and healthy homes with sober parents, which is a huge impact generationally, and it is truly what gets me out of bed every morning, what drives the passion for the work that I do. And honestly, the clients do all of the work. They're the ones that put the work in, but being able to be allowed to be a part of that process with them, it has been life-changing for me. There will never be any experience I think I will have in my life that can mirror the intensity and the heartwarming effect of watching a mother being allowed to hold her child for the first time after several months of being now in active addiction, or get their first overnight, or get their child placed with them, or be allowed to bring their child back from the hospital with them after giving birth. It is lovely to have the children be allowed to live in the program with the mothers and to be able to watch them grow into what they have always been capable of being, which is amazing, strong women in recovery who are also incredible mothers.
December 2017, Wellspring opened New Horizons Detox Center, initially a 10-bed social model program, now a medically supervised detox providing treatment for withdrawal from opiates, alcohol, and benzodiazepines.
I'm Richard Terrio. I'm 37 years old. Life in addiction was no fun, and I learned later in recovery that there's a saying, sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I reached that point in my life where it felt like everything I was doing was just a slow, steady circle going down and down and down. And I reached what they call the gift of desperation, where you're overwhelmed with the reality that you've created and you finally want to make a change. And so I reached out and I found myself at the New Horizon Wellspring Detox, which was a great place where you can go and all your needs are taken care of. So you can take the time that you need to just sit, settle, and let your body and your mind start the healing process. And what I really liked about the Wellspring Detox is it's a great home atmosphere. It's not this hospital-like atmosphere where you're just a number or a client being pushed through to a destination. This place actually has heart and compassion. The staff there is very friendly and kind and caring and compassionate. Any need that you have, they will work with you to make sure that you're comfortable and that you are satisfied and not taken for granted or neglected. And they will get you to your next step. And I highly recommend anybody struggling with addiction that doesn't know where to start to reach out to the Wellspring New Horizon Detox. Because without it, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. It was the starting point of everything good in recovery that I have achieved now. And for that, I'll forever be grateful. And it's quite amazing that there are people in the world that don't know you and are not involved with you, that care about you and do whatever it takes to help you get to the next step. And I'm also proud to say that I'm a member of this detox because I currently work there, and it's a great full circle moment to be there to help people the same way that I was helped when you don't know what to do or where to go. And it's very fulfilling. And it's forever changed my life, and it will forever change your life too.
One of the biggest challenges during our time, I believe it was in 2010, the state had put forward a budget proposal to eliminate residential funding. And so there was a line of recovery advocates all the way down to Augusta. The amount of support for the residential programs that was offered in testimony allowed those proposed cuts to be reinstated. Those were just challenging times during that entire period.
Wellspring realized that we all are individuals. We all have gifts. We all have strengths. We all have different things that we do that just need to be brought to the forefront. At Wellspring, when you walk through those doors, those treatment plans are done individually so that individuals are able to be the best that they think they can be, that they never thought was possible. I'm retired now, and I run into the community all the time. They say, "Weren't you at Wellspring?" And I say, "Yeah, I was." So I graduated from there. Some of them even say to me, "It took me 2 to 3 times, but I graduated. I'm there." And they're sober now. Many, many years with families, members of the community, working hard.
I ended up going to school and achieving my bachelor's in mental health and human services and a minor in child psychology. I earned my certified intentional peer support specialist, which now I work at Together Place Peer and Recovery Center in Bangor. Recovery has brought me so many gifts, and Wellspring was the start of that journey for me. Now I continue to share my experience, strength, and hope, and help others meet them where they're at and enjoy living life today, one day at a time.
I see people do heal, recovery is real, growth is possible. I see people changing for the better and move from, these places where they thought they're, won't be able to do anything with their life or with their family or with their kids, be productive members of society.
For decades, Wellspring has been a vital source of hope in the community, offering care, compassion, and a path forward for people facing substance use and mental health challenges.
I always joke, I still think it is, that Wellspring is the best kept secret. Our programs are embedded into neighborhoods, and no one ever says much. We're just here. But the community knows we're here. We get respect from the business community and for the work that we do. And we quietly go about our business.
Another great thing about our program that I don't know if other programs do is that we have an alumni association. When someone graduates this program, they're told that the house belongs to the graduates, that they're always welcome back, that we'll always be there for them. They can come back and see us. They can come back and be a mentor to the clients that are here, to demonstrate to the clients that it's possible. Because for a lot of people, including myself, who come through this program, graduating itself is a pipe dream, let alone going on to have careers and families or whatever they want to do with their life. And that's what did it for me. That's what kept me in recovery. Once I left here, I had a sense of purpose in coming back. I had a sense of purpose in coming to aftercare and being an alumni and somebody that the clients could look up to and that the staff could trust to be around the clients. I always looked up to the counselors when I was a client here. I wanted what they had. I admired the work they did. And so I decided to go to school to do what they did. But in reality, all I ever really wanted to do was work for the Wellspring Men's House, because I know the impact it had on me and my life and that it continues to have. Wellspring Men's House has always been the biggest part of my recovery journey, and I'm honored to continue to be a part of it. Thank you.
I think the biggest thing that the houses provide, or at least I hope the guys were saying, is it provided hope that they can learn to have a new life, and we're giving them the opportunity to have a new life.
Wellspring's mission to me remains hope for people, that they can recover and have a very meaningful life, rebuild relationships with folks that they may have lost relationships.
When I was at the women's house and I was getting ready to get on the bus to go to Massachusetts to fight against my trafficker, the girls gave me a bag and said, "Don't open this until tomorrow morning. And we want you to call us during morning gratefuls." At that time, the only people I really had in my life all the time was the women there. The next morning, I called the house and they put me on speakerphone, and I opened the bag, and inside the bag were little messages, and I opened them up and read them out loud and started crying because of all the wonderful things they said. I don't think I ever heard anyone say those nice things about me before. I still have those notes that were written to me because they meant so much. I needed to hear those words of affirmation and encouragement to help me go into the courtroom that day and believe I was deserving and good enough. So thank you. Thank you all for believing in me when I didn't believe in myself.
Every day, our programs help individuals rebuild stability, reconnect with family, and move toward lasting recovery.
Because this organization supports me in supporting them, I am able to be there for people who maybe wouldn't have anybody else, and really help them see a new life in recovery. And it's so thrilling and rewarding to see people who maybe didn't believe in themselves get another chance and really start to succeed in life. I don't think there's anything better.
Challenges every day. Opportunities every day.
I think one of the most powerful things that I've seen over the years that I've been working for Wellspring is how clients feel and know that they are cared about by our staff. Endlessly, they are sharing how they feel valued. They learn that they can tell that the staff here actually care about them and want to be part of helping them learn how to believe in themselves once again. It's a sacred journey. Being a part of somebody's recovery is sacred. I feel so fortunate to have the people that work for this company be part of my job, helping to mentor them, because I see the heart that they bring to the work, and I see in my interactions in programs how the clients interact with them and the appreciation that they have and the excitement when something goes right and they have that first overnight visit or they get their first negative drug screen. There's so many things when they're getting ready to graduate, when they're getting relationships back. Recovery is so much more than just not using. And that's one of the most beautiful things that we get to see doing this work, is watching people move from just feeling like they're not capable of change to watching them really thrive in their life.
Clients do the work, we're just there for the journey, but it is such a beautiful journey and it is so impactful to the community. Thank you for listening.
We are grateful for the support of our donors, local partners, and volunteers, which allows Wellspring to continue our mission and have a positive, lasting impact in our community, today and for the next 60 years.
It is incredibly rewarding working for an agency that saves lives. Each day we witness courage, resilience, and hope in individuals that are taking steps in their recovery. But the true impact of our work isn't found in the statistics. It's found in the people whose lives that have been transformed. Their stories of recovery remind us that our work matters and continues to inspire us to make a difference, one life at a time. Thank you for your support.
Thank you to everybody here at Wellspring. I've had the experience over 30 years in the field of referring clients and seeing them successfully go on their path to recovery. And now I'm very grateful that I have the opportunity to work with amazing coworkers, colleagues, people in the community. But most of all, I would like to thank the clients for allowing me to be a part of their lives and their journey together. It is amazing, inspiring, and you are all amazingly resilient. Thank you.
I want to give a big shout out and a thank you to all the employees that I work with at Wellspring. They're always so kind and helpful and want to do everything they can to help the clients. I also want to thank our vendors in the Bangor area that have been so helpful to make Wellspring run properly. We enjoy working with you and we enjoy all the services that you do for us. And a bigger thank you go to all of our people that donate money to help us with our grants and help to make some of the fulfilling things that we want to do come true. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I hope you've enjoyed learning about the amazing history of our organization. To every single client who has ever let us be part of your recovery journey, thank you. We know that the road to recovery is rarely a straight line, and your courage and dedication to move forward through tough days and setbacks is truly, truly inspiring. Thank you so much for having the strength to never give up on yourself. And know, if you ever need us, Wellspring is here. Thank you.